Alright, so
Hey.
here we are in a different kind of video. We just got through finishing our last video, which almost ended pretty badly, but we're doing something different this time around.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Marvel. So Marvel Phase 4 just got announced. And, well, a while ago at this point, and you've probably seen 1,000,001 videos on it, but we wanted to do our own video on it.
Uh-huh.
Why are you talking like that?
I'm just talking, man. I don't really think I'm doing anything weird, but...
Anyway,
Yeah.
we got... The Marvel Phase 4 is different from the other phases, because it's including TV shows. Now, they've had their TV shows like the Netflix shows, but Netflix shows got canned, and they have questionable canonicity?
Canonicity.
Whatever.
Also, just for reference, DJ knows everything about Marvel, and I know next to nothing.
It's going to be a learning experience for everyone involved. So, they announced, 5 movies and 5 TV shows? Something like that? Yeah. So, first one they announced was Black Widow. Black Widow solo movie. Now, spoilers for Endgame. I don't know how you haven't seen it if you haven't. But Black Widow is dead.
Correct.
This is a prequel. A lot of people...
Hopefully. That would be awkward if it wasn't.
Just the whole movie's her dying.
Just the whole movie is her fall from the top down.
So I saw Endgame a ton of times, and I saw Infinity War a ton of times. Marvel can take all of my money if the movie starts with Black Widow falling, off the cliff.
You're probably wondering how I got here.
Yes, exactly.
That would be pretty great.
Apparently, it's not going to be that much of a prequel, though. The idea being it's going to take place after Captain America: Civil War, instead of taking place before, the Avengers. So that's interesting. There's going to be more than one Black Widow. Black Widow's going to be a title held by Master Assassins.
Oh, interesting.
The villain is Taskmaster. Now that doesn't mean much to you, but it's a huge person a lot of people have wanted from the comics for a long time.
Okay. That's interesting.
If he sees you do a martial art move, he can immediately do it.
I think you told me about him. He's just copies shit.
Yes, he can copy anything, as long as it's not superhuman abilities.
That's pretty neat. So it's just normal human crap.
I gotta say though, my excitement, 5 to 6 out of 10. I'm gonna see it, but it's not something I have to see opening night. What about you?
I'll see it. As DJ probably can attest to, every Marvel movie that I've seen has been with him.
We usually go and see the Marvel movies. I usually end up seeing it before him, and
then he's like, "Oh my god, we go see it." I'm like, "Okay," and then we go see it, and it's good. Sometimes. Unless it's usually good. I mean, I don't have any memories specifically of bad Marvel movies.
I do.
I mean, I'm sure you do because I'm a sucker when it comes to movies because I'm bad at making.
I'm not gonna state my opinions in this video because I'll get crucified.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
I like Rocket Raccoon, which we might get into in a minute because I'm sad. But anyway.
And then, I'm just reading off of this little list I compiled here. Then the next series, this is a series that they announced. So it's going to come out on the Disney Plus streaming platform in 2020, in the fall of 2020. It's called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Following Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's going to be about Falcon
and the Winter Soldier.
This show is about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Hey, can you guess what it's about?
No.
I think it's about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's just a fan theory, though.
I think it's about God.
It's going to be about the Falcon taking on the role of Captain America.
Right, which makes sense.
It's going to set the return of Baron Zemo. Now, I don't know if you remember, but in Civil War, Baron Zemo was the villain.
Right.
He's going to be wearing his iconic mask. They teased it, but it looks alright. I mean, it's interesting that they're bringing back an old villain. I'm interested enough. I think it's really cool. A lot of people are mad that Bucky isn't Captain America, but that wouldn't make sense because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Bucky is a terrorist and still wanted as a terrorist.
Correct.
So
it would be slightly awkward if he were the new Captain America, but that's just kind of what we're thinking.
Plus, I think this show, because it's going to be a limited series, is going to probably wrap up Bucky's story arc for the universe.
Would make sense, especially with the fact that
Captain America's already, Steve Rogers has been ended. So with that, we're going to move on to the next one. Marvel's The Eternals.
Which I have no idea what that means.
Well, okay. So with me and my infinite comic knowledge, which really just extends to Spider-Man, Daredevil, and somewhat Avengers. But the Eternals are like an ancient race sort type deal. Created by the Celestials. Rumor has it this may set up for mutants to be in the MCU, the XMen.
Which would be interesting.
Angelina Jolie, I believe, is in this film.
Oh.
Going to be in the Eternals. And it's got a star-studded cast, dude. It's apparently got great writers, too. I'm not really interested in the Eternals. I know there's a lot of fans of the Eternals. But me, myself, and I, not interested. But you can't not be interested when you find out a star-studded cast, how well the Marvel Universe is doing, and, great writing. I gotta say 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
Excited. We didn't rate Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I got a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm about that too.
For Eternals, I give it 6 out of 10, just because they never really been my thing.
Just how you said, hey, it's gonna dive into the mutants. That sounds pretty cool.
Well, that is not confirmed. That's a theory.
That's a theory, but still, it sounds pretty cool. So I'm down for that.
So 6 out of 10, or what's yours?
Yeah, I'd say 6 out of 10. This is pretty good.
6 out of 10. All right. ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is another movie. Yes. So
what is?
So initially they announced the Shang-Chi movie. Shang-Chi is a character. I've never read his specific comics.
He's a character.
He's been in Spider-Man comics. There's a time where Spider-Man lost his Spidey sense, so he taught him like Spider Fu.
Oh, so he's like a Spider-Man character.
No, Shang-Chi is just a martial arts character who just happened to be in that issue of Spider-Man.
Oh, hey, Spider-Man and Shang-Chi in the same room. What a coincidence, comic.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Sure.
So I wasn't interested. It's, Asian representation film, which I think is great, but I wasn't too interested. I gave it like a 7 out of 10, or a 6 out of 10, like, Eternals interested, but it's bumped up to a 7 for me because they added the subtitle, The Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, this is something you don't know.
Right, because I have no clue what that means.
In the original Iron Man was kidnapped by terrorists, you remember?
Yeah.
Those terrorists were the Ten Rings organization.
Oh.
And then, in Iron Man 3, he fought someone named the Mandarin. It turned out that the Mandarin was just a farce, and it was really some dude named something Killian. I can't remember his first name. But, and the Mandarin was just an actor.
Okay.
This upset people because the Mandarin is a huge character in the comics. He's the leader of the Ten Rings, a villain of Iron Man's, and the fact that they made him, like, fake and, like, kind of like a bitch, people hated it.
Right.
So they made a Marvel one-shot. One-shots were these shorts, came out with Marvel DVDs, which basically retconned to that there is a real Mandarin, and he was not happy that someone was pretending to be him. So they teased the Mandarin, but we never thought we were going to get him. In the original Ant-Man movie, one of the buyers for the Wasp's shrinking technology has a 10 ring symbol on either his gun or his neck. I can't remember. Because I think the other one's 10 rings and one's Hydra. I think it was his neck,
now that you mention it. Because I remember something on his neck, but I could be totally wrong.
And then I think the other one was Hydra. So it was like teases for secret organizations amongst the MCU. And so that got me interested. This 10 rings has been built up for a while. They have announced officially that it's going to have the Mandarin.
I don't know. It was on his neck, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you Googled it. And there was announced officially that it's going to have the Mandarin in it. The real Mandarin. And it's going to be about the 10 rings. I'm excited. 7 out of 10. It got me enough to where I'm like, okay, I want to see this opening night. You know what I mean? I'm curious if they're going to tie it into Iron Man, though. If it's going to be like, let's say that the Mandarin's been away for, so the MCU's in 2023 right now. And Iron Man took place in 2008. So that's 15 years. So the Mandarin's been away 15 years. He comes back. He's like, yo, y'all created a superhero. Half the universe disappeared. Then they came back. Then that superhero died. What the hell did I miss?
Yeah, he ain't gonna be too happy.
So that was interesting. We're gonna keep this train rolling. Moving on to next week. I gave it a 7 out of 10. How about you?
That's about
hype 7 out of 10.
That's probably about where I'll give it, just because, again, I don't know a lot, but just how you described it sounded interesting enough to get me going.
Here's one that I'm gonna preempt. I give this next one is 5 out of 10 WandaVision.
I honestly liked Scarlet Witch, so...
Well, here's the thing. So, I love Scarlet Witch. I think she's a much better character than Captain Marvel, and I wish, feminists or people who are looking for female representation will latch on to her and not Captain Marvel. Right. But it is what it is. Captain Marvel got her own movie. She's getting her own TV show, so... But WandaVision, you know who Vision is.
Right.
The Robo Dude. Well, that's at least as you
Created
know
with the Mind Stone, right?
Yes. And then he got fucking murked in Infinity War.
He did get murked. A little bit.
Twice.
A little bit to his detriment, of course.
But yeah, so WandaVision, we don't know much other than it's going to be about Wanda, and it's going to tie into the next Doctor Strange movie, which we'll get here next. I'm not too hyped because the idea of WandaVision makes it sound like Vision's gonna come back, and this kind of just rubs me the wrong way, because when we watched Infinity War, when all the people started dusting, you knew those people were gonna come back. As soon as they killed Black Panther and Spider-Man, you knew they were gonna come back, because there's no way they leave those big moneymakers dead. But when you saw people like Heimdall and Gamora and Vision die, that you're like, oh shit, they're really dead.
Yeah, because they're like,
and Loki died. Yeah.
Right, they're minor enough characters that like, is about the only response that we can glean out of this. So,
but Gamora isn't alive again, but an alternate version of her is alive from Endgame. Loki is having his own miniseries, so he's not alive because it follows the version that escaped in Endgame. Right. And we'll get to that later. But that is like, okay, they're already... That's 2 deaths they've undone. Then Heimdall's still dead. So Heimdall's staying dead. But then now they're bringing back Vision? You know what I mean? It makes those few supposed permadeaths in Infinity War feel empty.
Right.
And on top of that, I get that Loki and Gamora aren't going to have the character development that they've already went through. It's going to be all gone. But I think just the very fact that that they are back is kind of takes away from the finality of their death. But who knows? Rumor has it could be a Vision from a different universe.
That would be interesting.
So, ending with that, we're going to lead into our next movie, which I give that hype, honestly, like a 5 out of 10.
I give it a 6.
All right.
Because I like Wanda.
Moving on to the next movie. This is a movie, not a series. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm going to say it right now, 9 out of 10 hype.
Yeah, you are super excited for it, and I'm all for it as well.
Doctor Strange is a slept-on film. Have you seen the original Doctor Strange film? Okay. It is slept on. The graphics are amazing.
Yeah, someone's like, free your mind. Kaleidoscope.
A lot of people, spoiler for Far From Home, because that one's a little more believable if you haven't seen that one yet.
Definitely got to put a spoiler warning at the beginning of this.
Spoiler. There is no multiverse. There isn't one. There's just Mysterio is not. Yeah, Mysterio was not from a different universe, and this is set to introduce it. Now, it was teased back in Doctor Strange, the first one, but this one is set to introduce it. So much hype for the multiverse, but then the fact that recently it was announced that Scarlet Witch would be co-starring. She is going to be with Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange. So this has me more hyped, because now she's not like the lead role, but she's the co-star role. She's going to be more prevalent. She's insanely powerful in the comics. Like, people are like, oh, Captain Marvel is the most powerful hero. In the comics, it's no contest.
Right.
I mean, this hero is more powerful than Scarlet Witch, arguably, but this chick literally says the word no more mutants and rewrites reality. Like,
exactly.
And so, obviously, they can't have her brother be that powerful in MCU, but I think this multiverse movie is probably going to step into her powers, and supposedly the WandaVision series is supposed to tie into it. So I'm really interested. It is also the MCU's first horror movie. Oh. The director is known for directing horror movies.
Really? They're making...
Yes, it's their first horror movie. It's PG-13, though, but it's horror, and I think...
How is Doctor Strange going to be horror?
Well, hold on. I think if you do horror correctly, it can be PG-13.
Right, horror doesn't need to be slasher.
But with that in mind, how do you do horror with Doctor Strange? Well, you can have demons, demonic things. It's called the Multiverse of Madness. There's a logo for one of these series we're going to mention later on in this video that has a zombie in it. So theory, could they go to a zombie, you know what I mean? Is that how it's horror, you know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, I'm excited. Rumor is, at the time of this recording, I think I seen something that confirmed it, but I don't know. That Nightmare might be the villain or whatever. Some sort of. I don't read a lot of Doctor Strange comics unless he like crosses over, so I don't know a lot. But I know that this movie is going to be hyped. This is my number one hyped movie. I almost want to give it 10 out of 10 hype because this was the movie that when they announced it, I was like, they got me. Like after Endgame, I was really like, and a lot of people were like, how can they keep us emotionally invested or interested? You know, Endgame was such this huge deal, such a great movie. And then they announced this with all these things, you know, second Doctor Strange movie with Scarlet Witch co-star, and it's a horror movie, and introducing the multiverse. Marvel, just take my money. Just take my money.
They're going to. That's what you're getting at.
So 9 out of 10 hype for me.
I'm gonna have to go 8 just because I'm super excited, but again,
it's not the most thing.
It's as much as you can get excited for without being a super invested individual into this kind of thing.
I understand, and I like, you know, if I'm hyping, this is my most hyped of Phase 4. Why isn't it 10 out of 10? Because 10 out of 10 hype was for Infinity War and Endgame. Those are the only movies in my life that have gotten 10 out of 10 hype.
Right, which makes sense.
I don't think it's ever fair that anything could ever really live up to that, so 9 out of 10. Moving on to the next one, which is something I mentioned earlier, Marvel's Loki series on Disney+.
I'm excited for this one. Just because, like, it looks so cool.
Okay, the first of all, the logo is trash.
Well, I mean, you get why, though. Why it's that.
Yeah, I get why. It's following the 2012 version of Loki that escaped in Endgame, so it's probably going to take place in an alternate timeline.
Well, you know, I've seen that, like, the each letter of Loki is a stolen, like, letter from another movie title, and that's why it looks like that.
Oh, well, rumor has it it's going to be influencing events from the past, but how are they going to do that if it takes place in the present? I'm suggesting it is going to be... Remember how we made that joke about Black Widow being like, how did I end up here? And then it flashing back to the past? Mm-hmm. I think it might be like that with Loki. Not necessarily with his death, just him retelling his life. And maybe this...
So, you're wondering how I got here.
Maybe this Loki somehow ends up in the main Marvel timeline. I don't know. I like Tom Hiddleston as an actor. This Loki also doesn't have the plot progression, so he's still evil, even though people want to believe that the evil Loki was mind-controlled, even though he wasn't. There's just a bunch of Loki sympathizers. It's going to be interesting. It's not something I'm excited for. I give it 6 at best.
I'll give it a 7.
All right, well, this is the first where you've been more excited than me. We're going to keep this train rolling with another Marvel series, and this is probably the one I'm most hyped for. Marvel Studios' What If.
This one looks cool.
So it is an animated Marvel movie.
It's animated?
Yeah, not Marvel show. Ooh. Yes, it's animated. Google, while you got it up there, Marvel What If cast. They're having a bunch of voice actors who are Marvel actors.
Haley Atwell, Jeff Goldblum, Sean Gunn, Chris Hemsworth, Chadwick Aaron Boseman, Josh Brolin, Dominic Cooper.
Well, you know who Josh Brolin is, right?
He was Thanos.
So Thanos in a What If series. So now...
I knew that one.
Supposedly... I mean, I guess from what we understand, it's going to be a series where each episode tackles a what-if scenario. What if things played differently at this movie or whatever, right? And Killmonger is amongst that list. So I have a theory of, you know, voice actors. So I have a theory that Killmonger is going... If you've ever seen Black Panther, I don't know if you have.
I actually haven't, but you've told me you don't like it that much.
Thanks for... I was going to keep my opinions... Because Black Panther's super controversial.
Well, I mean, you're allowed to like or not like a movie.
Yeah, but I'm white, so I'm gonna be crucified.
No, you won't. It's fine. Anyway, but I haven't seen it. But I like the soundtrack of Black Panther.
It's good. It's good. It's a good soundtrack. I'll give it that. It's probably one of the best, other than Guardians of the Galaxy. But Killmonger was the villain. Obviously, he fails.
He was Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah,
or Michael B. Phelps.
Michael B. Phelps. Michael B. Jordan.
Close enough.
Yeah. I'm theorizing there's going to be an episode where Killmonger wins, and then probably one where Thanos wins again. You know what I mean?
And
there's a whole storyline going on right now.
And it's animated, so they can go do a lot with it.
Yeah. There's more recently, it was announced that the Peggy Carter the voice actor was going to be there. So maybe an episode where Peggy Carter has the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers. Just stuff like that. Really interesting stuff. Korg is going to be in it, so that's interesting. Thor. They just got a ton of cast. This is going to be a really cool series to watch. I mean, even if you're not hyped for it, you should probably just watch it. It's going to be interesting.
It sounds awesome.
But we got to keep this moving so it's not a crazy long video. Hawkeye. This new Hawkeye series, long debated of whether or not this is going to happen. It is. Jeremy Renner coming back as Hawkeye for the series. The series, however, is going to take place weirdly timed. It's going to, you know how he became Ronin in Endgame, right?
Right.
Like he was Ronin,
and he was super edgy.
Yeah,
he was. I will kill.
He was
revenge.
He was edgelord Hawkeye, Clint Barton. It's gonna go back into the Ronin and explain some of the Ronin past, but it's also gonna do after post Endgame. Supposedly, he's going to be training Kate Bishop, who's like the second Hawkeye in the comics, to be an Avengers level hero without powers.
Oh.
So he's training the next Hawkeye.
Nice.
I think a lot like how I said that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be the conclusion of the Winter Soldier's arc. I think this is going to be the conclusion of the Hawkeye's arc, and then maybe Kate Bishop will be in season 2 of Hawkeye or the next Avengers movie. I give this a 7. It's exciting. I've always liked Hawkeye. My dad was super scared in Endgame when he thought Hawkeye was gonna die.
Is Hawkeye his favorite?
Yeah, Hawkeye is his favorite character. I was like, they did the Endgame scene so well, I couldn't tell who was gonna die.
Well, that's probably good that they did that because the less you are to know about the movie, the better it'll play out when stuff comes back.
Yeah, fair enough. But anyway, there's not much to say. I give 7 out of 10.
Hawkeye's okay. I'll give a 5 just because it's like it's so.
All right, next movie, Thor: Love and Thunder.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I still haven't even seen Thor Ragnarok yet, and I've been meaning to. I just haven't.
Thor Ragnarok. Okay, so there was the trio that really built the Marvel Universe. Trio of movies: Captain America movies, Iron Man movies, Thor movies, right? And since they all got 3 movies and that capped them off, there was a long talk of possible Thor 4, and a lot of people, including myself, were surprised that it was announced, and it was announced this early. Thor: Love and Thunder. Its title looks really dumb, but I don't hate the name Love and Thunder because I think it's a play on Love and War.
Probably,
but the actual art of it is dumb.
It looks very retro. I think it's kind of neat.
But you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, but you got a general overview since you've seen Infinity War Endgame, and I've probably told you.
And I know the basic plot, and I'm going to watch it eventually.
So
I promise.
Love and Thunder is going to follow Thor. It's going to take place before Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I say this because Thor might be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I don't know. Thor: Love and Thunder. It's going to be about Thor, obviously.
Is Guardians of the Galaxy 3 not on this?
We'll get to that.
All right.
Thor: Love and Thunder. Anyway. So, he, just post Endgame. We don't know what kind of time frame afterwards. We do know Valkyrie is going to be a big part of it, and she's going to come out as gay. Which was kind of teased for a long time that an existing Marvel character was going to come out as gay, and it was obviously Valkyrie, because in Ragnarok, she sort of has a dead girlfriend, so... Then it was also announced that Natalie Portman will be returning to the Thor series.
Ooh.
Have you seen any of the prior Thors?
Yeah.
So, Jane Foster. She had a falling out with Marvel, Natalie Portman.
Ooh.
And they used her in Endgame, and a lot of people, including myself, were surprised that they were able to use her. It was a bunch of old footage and stuff, but they still gave her credit in the credits and everything. But she's announced that she's returning as a main character. And get this, she is Thor. She is going to be wielding the hammer and becomes Thor.
Is it going to be Mjolnir? Or?
Well, see, that was the question. See, on stage, she lifted Mjolnir. But Mjolnir was destroyed.
Right.
And even though it was an Endgame, that was because they brought it from the past, but then Captain America took it back. So I'm thinking maybe they reforge Mjolnir or
some sort of Stormbringer kind of thing.
Yeah, something happens, but she's going to become the mighty Thor. I don't know, that's supposed to distinguish her. But yeah, in the comics, Jane Foster, Thor, had like cancer, and she picked up the hammer, and it was after a long time of Thor actually not being worthy, and she picks it up, and but she has cancer, and she's going through chemo, but every time she lifts the hammer, her body gets purged, so then
the chemo is rid of her body.
Yeah, so she cannot cure her cancer if she's going to continue being Thor. It's this huge duality. I don't know if they'll adapt that, but they're definitely looking to be more inclusive, so female Thor.
But you see, here's the thing. It purifies her body. Why doesn't it get rid of the cancer?
Because maybe, cancer...
Is it God cancer?
Maybe it enhanced the cancer.
This is mega cancer.
Thor cancer. And then we have 2 announced movies
Thunder cancer. Sorry, I'm done.
Thor Love and Cancer.
Okay, let's move on.
Blade was announced. Now, this was announced. A lot of people thought it was going to be part of Phase 4, but it's officially been announced to be a movie part of Phase 5.
Oh,
they announced it just because they wanted to, pretty much. The actor, I can't say his name. I think his first name is Marshall. I can't say his last name. He's a black Muslim actor. He's really talented. He was in Luke Cage as one of the villains. He's playing the titular character, Blade. And there's a little controversy. Some people would have wanted Wesley Snipes back, but Wesley Snipes gave him his blessing to continue on. I guess after Marshall won an Oscar or an Emmy or whatever it is for actors.
It would probably be an Oscar, I think. I could be wrong.
He called up Marvel Studios and was like, yo, I want to play Blade. And they're like, okay. And then so they make the Blade movie.
Okay.
Because, when you got that kind of star power behind yourself, you might as well.
Right.
So Blade's coming. I didn't give my rating for Thor Love and Thunder. I give it 8 out of 10.
I give it 6.
Anyway, Blade, I give it a 6 out of 10. It's not a character I'm super interested in. I've watched the old Blade movies. I've read some of the comics with Blade in them.
I'm about halfway clueless, so I'm going to say 6.
Well, he's like a vampire hunter. That's his
pretty cool.
gist, That's him. So then, here, as you can see, there's a little Fantastic Four on the little thing I have pulled up for you.
Mm-hmm.
It has been announced that, sort of announced, I guess, that Fantastic Four, Mutants, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Black Panther 2, and Captain Marvel 2 were all in production. Sort of, because at the end of Marvel's panel in San Diego Comic-Con, Kevin Feige says, we have no time to talk about Fantastic Four, Mutants, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So he kind of teased that Fantastic Four and Mutants were coming. I know that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Captain Marvel 2, and Black Panther were all not officially announced, and I believe they officially got release dates. I can't remember. I'll probably do it in post, add them on screen. Fantastic Four and Mutants, though, I don't know if they did. I don't think they did, because I don't even think Mutants has even, a title.
Right.
I'm excited for Fantastic Four and Mutants. There's a lot of rumors going around about Fantastic Four, though, more so than Mutants. I think it'd be really cool if they, this is a little tangent I'm going to go on, if, there's been so many XMen movies, so many Wolverine movies, all that, if they just did a movie titled Mutants.
Right.
And then at the end, you can say, the name X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you establish that mutants are in your universe and you make it very interesting, I was thinking more of an X-Men First Class style type movie where Xavier, it takes place in the 90s. Xavier makes the first X-Men class. He stops some sort of government bad thing that's going on in the 90s. But Professor Xavier is X-Xavier, whatever. He's like, oh no, I can't form the X-Men for insert reason here.
Right.
So he waits till post Endgame, and then maybe his first team dies, and he gets traumatized. And then Endgame, he sees Tony Stark die, and all the Avengers go missing or die, and he's like, the world needs a new super team. So he forms the X-Men. And maybe that's how its origin is. It's a movie that spans the Marvel timeline. Almost like Doctor Strange, which starts in early and then goes over a few years.
Which would be very cool.
Fantastic Four, there's a popular theory or rumor that it's actually going to take place in the 50s or something, and it's going to take place alongside the original Ant-Man, Hank Pym, and that the Fantastic Four are going to go missing, whether it be in the quantum realm or the negative zone or realm, whatever. And they're going to go missing, and then they're going to come out, present day Marvel Universe 2023. The rumors for this is because Marvel, the Fantastic Four is quote unquote their first family.
Uh-huh.
So it'd be ideal for them to have their first family have been there the whole time. Just not really.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind that. There's a lot of speculation going around. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, there's a lot of speculation. James Gunn is back as their director.
Right, which
is good.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, but, he did make good film. It's just a matter of him as a person is what people are a little bit...
Think about it this way. He got hired to do the movies with those tweets out there. Those tweets were out there. Marvel and Disney could have done a better background check and found those tweets before they even hired him.
Right.
Then 2 movies in, stirs up, controversy, they fire him. They get a bunch of backlash for firing him. They agree to use his script, but they're going to find a different director. Then he says he's going to do Suicide Squad at DC, and then they're like, no, wait, come back, and now he's doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 again. So I think, it was in Marvel's best interest to have him. He understands the characters pretty well.
Right.
I'm very interested.
And he demonstrated that with the first 2 movies, but sorry, go on.
I'm very interested, though, because James Gunn had a hand in Infinity War and Endgame. Right. If his Guardians of the Galaxy 3 script doesn't include Thor and doesn't include this new Gamora. Because I guess, I don't know if it was the directors or the writers of Endgame were like, whatever happens to this new Gamora is up to James Gunn. And yeah, so... very interested. I'm probably going to see it with my sister because she loves those movies, but that isn't coming out for a while. I want to say 2022 or 23 or something.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is a 10 out of 10 interest for me because it has Rocket Raccoon.
I give it an 8. Well, Rocket Raccoon reportedly is going to be a huge character in the movie. Very important.
And you also said there's a rumor that it is his last movie.
Yeah, that would suck.
But
there's a ton of rumors surrounding this movie, dude.
So.
But yeah, that is Marvel Phase 4 as we know it, partially Phase 5. We don't know what movies, like those last movies we've mentioned there, what's going to be a part of Phase 5. We only know that Blade is going to be a part of Phase 5. I assume Fantastic Four and Mutants are going to be part of Phase 5. But as for Black Panther, Guardians, and
that might even be Phase 5.
They might be Phase 5. They might be Phase 4. Same thing with Captain Marvel. That is Marvel Phase 4. I gotta say, I was not thinking I'd be this hyped, but I feel I could have been more hyped than I am now. But there's definitely stuff I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna be honest. Thor 11, from what we know, is in Phase 4, so not including Guardians of the Galaxy. Thor: Love and Thunder and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, the What If series, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldiers are the 4 things that I just want to see.
Right.
Especially the Doctor Strange series, because I don't know how even if you're not a Marvel fan, that has to sound at least interesting.
Right.
And it's just I rate my excitement. Phase 3 was a 10 out of 10 excitement. I'll give this an 8 out of 10 excitement for this phase.
I would say probably a 7. Again, DJ was the one who brought me into the Marvel fan universe and has kind of kept me there. Sure, if he was kind of out of it, if he wasn't a part of it, then I probably would still go see some of the movies just because the characters and the storylines are interesting. It'd be less of the characters, just more the storyline that can be developed through these movies would be cool to see. But, I mean, my excitement is probably about 6 or 7. Still pretty high up there, but not nearly as high as someone like DJ who is invested very thoroughly. So
yeah. Anyway, guys, that is our thoughts. If you watch this presumably fairly long video, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. Thanks for watching. And if you want to hear more of our rants, you should definitely subscribe.
Make sure you get enough vitamins. Bye.
All right, Danny.